Hello guys, it's the YouTube channel, Gojo Uchiha Domain Sharingan at Vuiani Gojo Uchiha. We will be having fun today since Gege Akutami has settled the battle between the two formidable foes, Satoru Gojo and Ryumen Sukuna. Alright, Gojo vs Sukuna. The battle ends with a clear final winner. One of the most anticipated battles of Jujutsu Kaisen has finally reached a conclusion with Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 235, Gojo vs Sukuna. Who do you think won? If you are unfamiliar, the series recently displayed the battle between the most dominant and vital characters in the series, the fan-favorite Gojo Satoru and the king of the curses, Sukuna. If you're an anime-only or a casual manga reader and want to catch up on this pivotal battle that's been buzzing in the community, you're in the right place. Warning: major spoilers lie ahead for those not up to date with the manga. The return of Gojo Satoru from Prison Realm. Looking back at the Shibuya arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is currently being adapted into anime by Studio Mappa, was the point where Gojo Satoru was lured into the trap by Kenjaku and Mahito to seal him in the Prison Realm. If you are unfamiliar, the Prison Realm is a specially graded cursed object in the possession of Kenjaku. Prison Realm can trap anyone, no matter how powerful, and encapsulates them in a fourth-dimensional space where nobody can escape unless someone can break the spell. In Chapter 91, during the massacre in Shibuya laid out by Mahito and Kenjaku, Gojo is sealed in the Prison Realm by his arch-nemesis. Since then, the pace of Jujutsu Kaisen manga has been much darker, and it's an all-out war with Mahito and Kenjaku. Chapter 91. Gojo getting sucked into the Prison Realm. Kenjaku moves forward with his plan, which is seen if you fast-forward to Chapter 220. Culling games had begun, and Kenjaku later managed to corrupt it with a rule addition that paved the way to end this game once and for all. If you are unfamiliar, Culling games is a battle royale orchestrated by Kenjaku to preserve the cursed energy as a whole by making the sorcerers kill each other using cursed techniques. Culling games is a forbidden act in the history of Jujutsu, but why is Kenjaku committing such an act? What is his motive? As mentioned before, Kenjaku plans to generate and preserve enough cursed energy to help Master Tengen merge with a human host, similar to Kenjaku himself. Who is Master Tengen, you ask? Tengen is an invincible female sorcerer who serves as a supporting character for Kenjaku. To merge, Tengen needs a star plasma vessel, and Kenjaku is planning to reserve enough cursed energy to make another star plasma vessel and help her attain a human form. The previous star plasma vessel was killed by Toji Fushiguro 11 years ago, and it was none other than Riko Amani from the premature death arc. Meanwhile, the remaining sorcerers managed to get their hands on the Prison Realm and plan their moves to release Gojo from the realm. Yuji Itadori and his friends managed to free Gojo from the Prison Realm, but Gojo does not appear in front of his students. Instead, he instantly embarks to find Kenjaku to confront him for the better of the world of sorcerers. On his way, he is forced to fight with the strongest sorcerer of all time, Sukuna, and everything is now set for the fight between the most potent characters of the series. Gojo vs Sukuna, Round 1, Chapter 224. The battle between Gojo and Sukuna begins. Although the fight had a plodding and rough start, it certainly changed the pace multiple times. The fight begins with both taunting each other and heading to an intense battle. Exchanging heavy blows, Sukuna and Gojo are going for each other's throats and not holding back even a bit. Gojo takes the lead by landing multiple punches on Sukuna while he tries to run. Sukuna manages to block a boulder of a building thrown by Gojo and later uses his dismantle ability. Fortunately, Gojo can dodge it. Sukuna dodged the boulder. Following, Gojo and Sukuna using their domain expansions at the same time. But because Sukuna's domain expansion does not need a barrier, it becomes invincible. He uses the domain expansion inside Gojo's infinity, manages to cancel it out, and lands a fatal hit. Sukuna uses multiple slashes on Gojo, but thanks to reversed curse techniques, he manages to heal and destroys Sukuna's shrine with curse technique red. Going on one again with fists, Gojo uses his domain expansion the second time. But yet again, Sukuna's domain expansion manages to cancel it out, which damages Satoru severely. Gojo, being persistent, does it again after healing himself, but this time he makes his barrier 100 times smaller, which worries every other sorcerer watching their battle. In there, Gojo and Sukuna are fighting. The barrier again collapses, but something is different. Gojo lands a hit on Sukuna, causing him to bleed, and then instantly follows up to their major fight. The first round of the fight ends with Sukuna revealing his trump card, the strongest Shikigami, the 8-handled sword Divergent Scylla Divine General Mahoraga. Round 2, while Gojo is about to kill Sukuna with his domain expansion, Sukuna immediately summons his trump card, Mahoraga, aka Sword of Extermination. If you are unfamiliar, Mahoraga is the most potent Shikigami in history, which has never been tamed before. Even by the likes of the Zenin clan, it can adapt to anything and will read the moves to attack in perfect time. Due to the relentless spamming of domain expansion by Gojo, he cannot use that. On the other hand, Sukuna is also damaged enough not to be able to use his domain expansion either. The battle without domain expansions begins. Gojo and Sukuna are now fighting using standard tactics without using their domain expansions. The main thing Gojo has to look out for is Mahoraga, and refrain from using Infinity Void so it doesn't adapt to it. The fight continues, and Gojo is as relentless as ever. He is using his curse techniques to fight against Sukuna so he can put an end to him faster. The clock is ticking, and the wheel of Mahoraga is spinning, indicating that it is adapting to his infinity. Gojo is still using his curse techniques relentlessly, and soon, Mahoraga adapts to his ability and slashes him away, damaging him severely. Gojo somehow manages to get back on his feet and uses a reversed curse technique to heal himself. Gojo is getting slashed by Mahoraga. Now, the thought of being adopted by Mahoraga is over, and Gojo has the perfect chance to use his moves freely, but unpredictably, to beat the King of Curses and Mahoraga all by himself. Sukuna and Mahoraga are teaming up on Gojo as he manages to dodge them simultaneously. Sukuna has summoned his trump card, Mahoraga. But wait, there's more. Mixing up new and totality comes a new Shikigami known as Chimera Beast Agito. Things are getting tough for Gojo, as this is a 3 versus 1 situation now, and thus the climax of the battle starts. The climax, the finale of the fight has been initiated, and it seems like the situation is in favor of Sukuna. However, Gojo is still managing to dodge all 3, Sukuna, Mahoraga, and Agito. But here comes the game changer. While Gojo is dodging all of them, Sukuna summons Mahoraga to give it his all since he's become Sukuna's shadow, not Megumi Fushiguro's. Mahoraga's ring clicks one more time and launches a slash attack, which severs Gojo's right arm. Every other sorcerer watching becomes concerned. Sukuna and his 2 Shikigamis are punching the living hell out of Gojo. However, he's Gojo Satoru, for a reason. The alone honored one under heaven and earth. While he is still getting beaten, he instantly runs away and launches his blue curse technique on Chimera Beast Agito, causing it to explode in bits. Now it's down to a 2 versus 1. Gojo regenerates his arm back with a reversed curse technique. Sukuna predicts that Gojo will use his red curse technique next. His prediction becomes true, but it has a twist. Gojo launches his red curse technique over his head, making Sukuna confused and anxious. Sukuna orders Mahoraga to go near the red curse technique. He uses piercing blood to stimulate it. Except for Gojo, no one even knew about the blue curse technique, which destroyed Agito. It is still hovering in the air, and thanks to Sukuna's piercing blood, the reverse curse technique gets pushed to curse technique blue. Here comes the magnum opus, Gojo's trump card Hollow Technique, purple. It causes a massive explosion, in which Sukuna, Mahoraga, and Gojo himself are caught into it. However, Mahoraga is destroyed like a mere ant, including his wheel. The battle goes back to 1-on-1. Half of Shinjuku is destroyed, as well as the technique was so powerful that it even hurt the user. Sukuna is in a fatal state, and the explosion doesn't seem to have hurt Gojo that much since it is made up of his own cursed energy. By the way, we are currently in chapter 235. It is confirmed that Gojo has won the battle, as Sukuna is in an unfightable state. The winner of the Gojo vs. Sukuna battle that lasted for 14 chapters straight is Gojo Satoru. The fight between Gojo and Sukuna was one of the most intriguing and anticipated fights in the history of Jujutsu Kaisen and anime as a whole. What do you think? Although the previous battle between Gojo and Sukuna in the beginning of the series was one-sided, this fight reminded Gojo Satoru of Toji Fushiguro, as it was the most challenging fight of his life. Overall, this fight was one of a kind. Most of the time of the battle, the outcome was uncertain. It was a miracle that Gojo had made it out in one piece, although he was severely damaged. Now that the battle between Gojo and Sukuna has come to an end, the only other powerful antagonist to defeat is Kenjaku. It looks like the author of the manga is finally wrapping up the series, as he said earlier that he will end the manga in 2023. Alright guys, this brings us to the end of the video. For more info, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Gojo Uchiha Domain Sharingan at Vuyani Gojo Uchiha. Like the videos and share the link. Let's reach 1K. Thank you guys.